Okay, I come back. Yes, it's so long, 1 hour, and the Instagram cut. But to finish this, and we continue with this theme, then I think it's a little bit clear what is trying to say the equivalence from things and not means should be the same in both sides. And it's about if the universe is a creation without a concept, like nothing programmed the universe. Why? We have some patterns. This is logic. The patterns is evident. And if you have a patterns in the life, in the universe, that means you have intelligence behind. If you have intelligence behind, you have a mind, you have a desire, you have a conception, and you should have something alive. And this idea that some people try to sell, like to say, no, the universe is not created by God, the things doesn't work in this way. Don't believe on that. The another point, the another step that I want to bring here, we have a diversity. Diversity is something is very important, and because this diversity you have in the start, yes, and all this diversity express God. What I try to say, when you have the crazy idea to say no, we only have to have one race, or we have only one plant. What you do? You kill the universe. You kill the whole. You kill everything. You destroy everything. Then this is not the result. If the life want to have only one, life don't create another. This is simple, very rational. And if you not understand this, because maybe you're not rational, but the diversity is the base, is everything, and everything should be in this principle. If you try to say no, I don't want diversity in the religion, I don't want diversity in the race, you are stupid. And after you say you believe in God, of course you don't believe in God. You have only someone have a disturbed mind and put you in this way. Yes, maybe you say, you can tell for the other person is not stupid. And what do you want to call for this kind of persons? Very intelligent. No. Stay with God, God's children, angels. I don't know. Don't make sense for me. Then for me, what makes sense is what is evident, and you can think about, and you can understand the conception from the word. When the people say diversity is not from God, or try to change this diversity, these people is crazy. Try to kill God like this, or try to change the God's mind. He only make damage, nothing more. But everything should be correct after, because I believe the desire from God is more strong than desire from one person want to destroy everything. Yes, I try to give here some example when you try to say in diversity don't have strange things, like if you don't have a concept behind, for example, you don't have a tree with the foot from a man or animal, or you don't have animal with a head as a tree, then you violate the several laws, several combinations. And this is logic. The thing is not like have a conception. If you have a conception, as I say, have some mind. create all this. And another thing is important here, as I say, when you put all these things together, God is knowledge, not ignorance. And when you not understood the things, you only want to do what you think or what someone say to you for you to do, this is ignorance, and this kind of ignorance guide us to destruction. And God is knowledge. God is know the things, understand the things, investigate the things. Not only create some concept and apply. What I try to say here, I don't say to you the science is the wholly true, no. Because the science that you have today is different from the start. And here's again the point to understand the philosophy, because actually we are drive in our education and our politician system with the sophists, and this is the problem. And the science today is a sophist based, but of course who really do real science. And now with all this investigation on the CERN, you start to understand, have something more behind there. But everyone study physics and start to understand when you start to learn the question for movement. You see have something there. But this is totally ignored because you can't how to say measure this. You can't understand. Then we ignore and think for you understand. Very simple this example. You get a tennis ball and put up this ball over your head. You launch this, and you see this ball will go high, and have a moment the ball stop for a while, seconds, or less than seconds, a fraction of a second, and after start to come. And maybe you be very intelligent. You say, oh, of course, I have a gravity, blah, 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 or another force. And what is this force? Why the forces interact with another force? Because gravity is not physical, right? Then how this force interacts? And here you start to see have something interact, force interact between matter. Actually, the connection is like now you know, very easy to understand, the Higgs boson. Yes, interaction with another energy to create matter. Simple, no? Very simple. And this is the point. Now I start to be in the end. Actually, here I start to say maybe the main idea around the elevation is still imperfect. As I said before, maybe we don't need to come back, because this elevation is a comeback for the spiritual world, but we should to aggregate and create the next structure and create the possibility to the next beings. In my perceptions, the set of elevators are individual beings, but connect our mind with the primordial spirit. And this is all the point when we created, when we are connected with the nature, when we have a perception from the environment, and when we get this understand this idea and put this idea together, the idea that I explained before, when you have two persons, you create another being. Then this is the point. You start to connect with the spirit here. Hello. And this is the point that you start really to connect with the spirit at this point. The another thing that I want to explain here, now I have a lot of tourists or someone. Hello, here. The another thing that hello. The another thing that I want to explain here is, let me try to get here. Hello. Imagine that you have a dream. Okay. This is the part that I share with the idea when you concept the mind and when you create the conception of the God as a mind, and when you create this conception of the God as a mind, I try to explain here, as I explained in the start, when you see as a dream and you use the manifestation on this dream. And what I try to say here, as I said before, hello. You can cross it, not only used for me. The idea here is, as I said before, when you have your dream, you see the things in your dream, but you can interfere on this. You remember what I said before when you get some groups, and when you put the group with the same idea, with the same purpose, you create something, and it is a aggregation of the energy created these beings. It's very interesting. And here, what I try to say here before is, you can, for example, having your dream, think you have the dream, and you see yourself, you see another person, but think now, this in your dream, this creation starts to talk with you, and this should be very different, the creation in your dream talk with you, and maybe this is our main purpose here. We should to create this being to talk with God, something like that. What I try to say here, the another thing, probably we should to use the another's plans and the universe to create the bridge. Okay, yes, I remember what I want to say here, what I try to explain here, because now we understood. We have us, you have the spiritual beings, yes, in your different levels, but probably we should to try to create this bridge to connect with these beings and create the next structure, or use the knowledge from these beings to get this next step. But actually, almost people try to use the beings for use for himself, to your self benefits, and it should not be in this way. And this is, I say, the magic enter here, and the whole actually the whole problems start here when the man try to use the magic for himself and not use the magic for the community. And the another problem here is the another human beings see these mysteries or this magic or these things happen and want to learn or want to replicate this, but again on to self your own interest. And here we start to create several troubles, several problems, and is not a good way. Another point here is important when you talk about life is like a cycle, and here I start to explain, and here I finish. I start to explain my main idea. When we see with the law, when you say the universe is the mental, and it is like yes, it's alive mind, yes, and this life mind manifests in another energy around, and this energy starts to get together. And why I say it is the life is not a cycle exactly like everyone think. You will born, live, and after you die, and after you you will born again in another place or the same place or wherever. This can be in this way. But why you have the sensation for the past life or reincarnation? It's because the whole information, as you understood, your DNA is something smaller. Yes, right? But he has the whole information to replicate you in the small and simple piece of your body, of your hair, your blood, can recreate you again. Of course, for finish the code, you have a number of the parts too. But the truth is, sometimes you don't need the whole parts. Yes, because you have the representation, in the O can represent another parts missing. And this is the point here. If your brain have this connection with your small matters like atoms and protons, yes, and this come from your ancestral, the people live before you, then this, in some way, this is still in the mind, or this create the conception of the mind. What I try to say here, this is the reason if you try to do some regression, you will really will feel that you live some life in the past. Of course, you have all this information inside of you from your ancestral parents. And this is the point. But the cycle in the life exists only to be possible to create the new structure. And it is when you have the right number, this start to create a new life. And it is way you work with the atomic structure. When you look for inside for the proton, exactly it is what you have. You have different energies that is still together to create a new one. And this is the point. The energy receive the influence and accept the measure to the next to be a new one. Can be a similar or not. In this way, a new energy come as the result of this union here. New form or can be on together. The process repeats, and this is the cycle several times, and here I use the example from the electron, the proton. Let me check if I have something more to write with you, to share with you. And the another point here is interesting is when you how to say, when you start the life, exactly, because as I say in the start of the Genesis, in the start is the verb, in the verb create the light create the life. When they start the life, when they start this energy, this primordial energy, they start to form structure, and this structure is the protons and the electrons. Here the life starts. Here the concept of the life starts, because he start to construct, he start to create. And exactly at this moment, when they start to put different energies together and create groups, and try to put each time more together to create a new one, a new structure. And yes, this is the point. Let me check here. Sorry, we go 30 minutes again. And here's another thing, in my opinion, is very important. Again, is about if the idea is to create another beings, yes, with put different things together, like man and woman. I not here is not to be kind of preconcept. I only try to say maybe when, but maybe should be in this way too. True, you have men's and women's and women's, men and men, and maybe all these different kind of the beings create another one. I don't know. But yes, I never saw how these people share. If you have if two persons with the same sex share, it is a new being. I never listened about that, and here I'm not sure if this happened or not. And yes, now I'm a little bit curious about this, if this happened or not happen. But that's this. I share with you about the mental, about the conception, the conception from the universe. Try to guide you to start to do your meditation and use your meditation to understand the environment, to connect with the environment, and get in touch with the life. Thank you. See you to the next time.